And let's go through the setup in general. A wedge, outsides of feet to the outsides of your shoulders. Well, now when I bump that hip, that's a little more significant. I'm putting much more pressure on the lead foot. Yeah, I feel it on the inside of this foot, much like I have door stops outside the right foot right there. But I definitely feel more on the lead foot, and I'm about 70% over there in my feel. That's my feel. Now, ready? I get a little bit wider, and I take now the middle of my feet to the outsides of my shoulders, which is where an iron approximately is, right? Now, I bump my hips now. Yeah, I feel about 60% over here, maybe 55, and 45 to 40 on the inside of my right foot. Now, here's the thing. As I get longer with the clubs, especially getting into the woods, I now have the insides of my foot to the outsides of my shoulders, and when I make that same hip bump, my upper body is actually being supported more by the inside of my right leg, which is putting more pressure on the inside of my right foot to where I personally feel 55 to 60% right here as opposed to there. And I think this is very important. People get the driver out, they hear hip bump, and then they end up stacking too much weight forward. It's like throwing a punch. I'm not going to stand over here and then throw it. I'm going to be more here so I can push off and then throw it around the left side there. So width of stance, ball position, wedges, woods, everything crawls right up in front. The narrower you get, the lower the ball goes. So those very lofted clubs, you can trap them and hit it a little bit lower and hit down on it with a more V-shaped swing simply because of the width of stance. The less loft on the club driver. Well, now we move that ball up to the front of our stance to left shoulder here. Well, now it's farther ahead of the top of the center of my body or the top of the pendulum. It'll actually naturally swing up more. My stance is wider, a more U-shaped swing. So I have two things that are helping me hit up on the ball without actually having to hit up on the ball.